first episode of Through My Ears. This is a show where we talk about music I like. This is a show where we talk about music I listen to. This is a show where we talk about obscure, weird music that you might have missed. The first episode, we're going to focus on the album Living in a Box by the band Living in a Box. Apparently they really like boxes. This is a really bizarre 80s album. Came out in 1987 on the infamous Chrysalis Records. There isn't too many videos on YouTube talking about this album. This is a really bizarre album. I mean, it's just completely overproduced. If I could describe this album as quickly and accurately as possible, it sounds like music that a middle schooler in the late 80s would think that adults listen to.
I've always been really fascinated with this time period of music. Let's say 1986 to 1992. It was a time period where synth pop and overproduced music was really on its way out, grunge and alternative music was slowly coming into the mix a little more, but there was bands like this that still tried to make it happen.
With that said, this album has a couple songs that really stand out and shine. The first one we're going to talk about is the title track, Living in a Box, which was also their first song they ever recorded. It's just a really fun, punchy, danceable song. And there's some humor in there, which is something that you don't see in a lot of music these days. So that's a really kind of refreshing thing, even though this album is so old.
I mean, look at this situation. This guy cannot stop smiling. The drummer has a crazy look on his face. The keyboard player has no shame with those dance moves. The bass player cannot stop staring at that girl who may or may not be singing. And say what you will about the quality of this music, this is the reason I like this stuff. These guys are all up here having a great time. This is something that's seriously lacking from today's music. Sure, you see people having fun every now and again. People are excited to play music, but there's not a genuine fun factor like this anymore. And this is what's so appealing to me about this. Look, we're in dark times right now, and this helps more than ever.
The production on the song Living in the Box sounds a little bit different than the other songs on the album. That's probably because they recorded it way before. It was the first song they ever did, so it does sound a little out of place. There also is another track, it's the last song on here, Living in a Box Penthouse Remix. So they really were trying to milk on this song. It seems like this whole album was kind of made as an afterthought to getting that song out to the masses. There's another song I kind of really enjoy in this album, and that is Generate the Wave. It's got this kind of bird sound that goes on throughout the song, and I really enjoy that. I just really kind of like abstract sounds thrown into music, so that was another really fun one. As I was saying though, there's a lot of goofy filler. If you're into 80s synth pop, I gotta recommend it just for the song Living in a Box. As you guys are gonna find out as this series goes on about my music taste, I really have a soft spot. It's just weird kind of like end of the line synth pop that was being made. Really high production value, almost too produced. But every once in a while you'll find a song within those albums and within that time period that I just absolutely love. And Living in a Box is a total perfect example of it. This is not music you're gonna wanna walk down the aisle to. This is not music that's going to lead revolutions, but it is a fun listen. If you guys like music culture, definitely check out the song Living in a Box. I'm a big fan of Chrysalis Records. I think they took a lot of risks with a lot of different kind of music. So I gotta give them props for putting this album out.
And that's all I have to say about Living in a Box. It's just a fun album to throw on, listen to, and not really care what the subject matter is. They recorded a second album called Gate Crashing, which maybe I'll get into in a later episode. If you guys like this video and want to see more stuff like this, please let me know in the comments below. And also feel free to subscribe if you like this and want to see more of it in the future.